Alright, so I already did a video of my post-hike gear, the stuff that I brought on my 2014 PCT Thru-hike, and this is a video of the gear that I will be taking on my 2015 Thru-hike. So a lot of the gear is the same, a few things are different. Uh, Biggest differences are a few pieces of gear are missing. So that's really the best way to lower your weight is just take stuff out. It's not to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars and buy expensive lightweight gear. Just figure out what you can do without and remove that stuff, and then you don't have to carry it at all. And honestly, you won't miss most of it. There are a few things that you'll want and you'll want to find lightweight versions of, but for the most part, you will not miss a lot of the stuff that you can get rid of. Just try and avoid taking too many just-in-case items. Obviously, you want a few emergency things, but for the most part, avoid just-in-case items. All right, let's start over here. New pack this year, I'm going to use the ULA CDT. I've used it once on a one-nighter over on the coast, and it worked wonderfully. So I don't have a huge amount of experience with it, but I did use it for a couple of days backpacking, and with all of this gear, all of the same gear, and it was very comfortable. Nice size hip belt pockets, plenty big for my iPhone to fit in, so I don't have to use my little belt clip for it, so that saves me weight right there. Lots of room for, yeah, camera, iPhone, sunscreen, headlamp, and it's on both sides, so great. ULA has really nice outside storage, which I was very jealous of last time I was on trail. I saw a lot of people with them, and they could just throw everything in the outside, and that way they didn't have to get into their pack to get things. So I went ahead and splurged, and this is a pretty cheap backpack. I think this one's actually cheaper than the last one I used, but it's so far I've had no durability problems. It's excellent. It nice, stretchy, large front pocket. Side water bottle pockets with the shock cord. That's great, because the last backpack I had just had a piece of elastic, and the thing is when you use that for almost 6 months, the elastic wears out, and I ended up having to shove like multiple water bottles into each pocket just to make sure that the stuff didn't fall out, because it wasn't going to hold anything anymore. The pockets were good size, but the top just wouldn't cinch down anymore. So this way, even if this wears the elastic part wears out, I can still cinch it up, which is great. So so that's why I picked this backpack over the Ohm. Yeah, so basic basic kind of cinch top closure. It's got a loop over the top. Doesn't have a lot of padding. Has a thin little piece of foam on the inside that you can actually remove and replace with your sleeping pad if you want, but I prefer to have the sleeping pad on the outside so that I can use it to sit on during the middle of the day. So I'm just going to leave that in. The hip belts are reasonably padded, but with a lightweight backpack like this is a frameless pack. With a lightweight backpack like this, you want to have your pack loads low enough, your base weight low enough, that you don't really need a lot of support with the hip belt strap. So all of this. Now, there are a few pieces of equipment here that I will not be taking all the time. There are a few things here that I will be sending myself at various times or switching out, and I'll explain those when I get to them. But for the most part, all of this in the backpack at its lowest weight will be about 9.5 pounds base weight, and at its highest weight, it'll be about 12 pounds base weight. So it's very low, and I'm hoping to go a lot faster this time than I did last time. Now that I know how to hike the trail. I know where the good resupply points are. I know where the water sources are. Yeah, so I'm hoping to go quite a bit faster, so I'll have to carry less food and be able to just move a lot faster. All right, so yeah, ULA CDT, great backpack so far, very comfortable. Water bottle holsters here on the shoulder straps. That's great. Little D loops. I'm going to connect stuff to that. Underneath is the same trash compactor bag that I used last year, or I'm going to get a fresh one, but that'll be the pack liner. I'm going to put that in and then pack everything inside that. That way everything stays dry. I don't use one of those pack covers because those don't work very well. Water gets in, they soak through. Just get the trash compactor bag. It's foolproof. And it's tough, too. This one, I think, this one went from the Dinsmores and Skycomish to the end, and there's no rips or anything. All right, moving on. We've got the umbrella. I think I probably will take this, but I will most likely send it home pretty early on. Maybe I'll probably send it home at at the Kennedy Meadows, and then I don't know if I'll have it sent back to me because I found that it didn't really help all that much, even in the rainy areas, even in Washington. It just didn't work very well. So Go Light Chrome Dome umbrella, like I said before, you can't get the Go Light one from Go Light anymore because the company doesn't exist, but you can find an equivalent from another brand. Just look it up. All right, now getting to shelter, this is one thing I'll be switching out at a certain point on trail. I think at Kennedy Meadows I'll be switching this out. So I'll start with this, and it's the Go Light Poncho Tarp. And this will be my rain gear and my shelter system. Now what I found last year was that I only set up my tent maybe 5 times in the entire desert, in all 700 miles of the desert. I cowboyed most of the time, and that was not something I thought I was going to be doing. I thought, oh, for sure, I'll at least set up the bug portion of my tent and sleep in that. No, in the desert, it's nice at night. The bugs don't want to have anything to do with you. They don't mess with you at night, and everybody's worried about rattlesnakes and scorpions. Nothing really wants to mess with you at night. They're all sleeping too, or just trying to stay away from the large things. So don't worry about that. Having some bug netting is smart. I'm just going to carry my head net with me. I've done that before. It's kind of a pain if you're really in a buggy area, but it's not the end of the world, and this will save me quite a bit of weight. So this will be, you can look up the weight. There are other brands that make poncho tarps, but this is the one I have, the Go Light Poncho Tarp, and yeah. So that'll be my rain gear and my shelter for all of the desert. Now when I get to Kennedy Meadows, I'll switch to this. It's my Fly Creek UL1. I've got the Tyvek ground sheet, I've got the tent, and I've got the poles and the stakes. Some of the stakes will stay with me for when I'm using that. You absolutely need some sort of full shelter, some sort of full bug shelter in the Sierras, otherwise you'll go insane. Yeah, you could survive. You're not going to die without it, but you will go insane without some sort of enclosed bug shelter to get out of the mosquitoes. They'll drive you insane. So that's what I'll be switching to, and I'll probably carry that for the rest of the trip. Moving on. This will also be something I send to myself. Maybe I might get a Dry Ducks Frog Togs jacket because it is a little bit lighter. But this is the same Marmot precip I carried on my last trip. I used some of that wash-in DWR coating stuff, and now it's waterproof again, so it's good, but it is almost a pound, so I might switch. But as of now, this is what I'll be taking, and I'll also be sending this to myself when I switch out the rain gear. This is the ULA rain kilt. It's fantastic. I love it. One of my favorite pieces of gear. Go get one. They're awesome. They're really, really nice. Okay, moving on. Now this is all stuff that will be hanging on my pack or in my hip straps. Or, I'm sorry, not hip straps. My side pockets. My hip belt pockets. Yeah, that's it. Hip belt pockets. So I've got the bug net. Now this little bag is broken, so I'll just be stuffing the bug net into the hip belt pocket. I've got my watch that will be hanging on the shoulder strap so I can keep an eye on the time. It's really important for keeping an eye on your pace. Emergency whistle. Enough said. Little tiny keychain Victorinox Swiss Army knife. Fantastic. That'll be in the hip belt pocket as well. This will be hanging on the zipper of the hip belt pocket. My little REI thermometer and compass. It does come in handy every once in a while. Hopefully you never have to use the compass, but the thermometer comes in handy. And then this is important. I have a bandana hanging on my shoulder strap. It's great for wiping sweat, for blowing your nose. It's great. It's really nice. I definitely would say have something like this hanging on the front of your backpack on your shoulder strap so you can use it for wiping your hands, like I said, blowing your nose, wiping sweat, any of that stuff. It really comes in handy. I love that. I don't think I'll hike without something hanging like that. All right. Okay, electronics, pretty much the same as last time. I've got the iPod Shuffle 6th generation touchscreen one. Really nice. I love that thing. The Tika XP2, Petzl Tika XP2 with the core rechargeable battery, so I don't have to buy batteries in town. Really bright, super headlamp. The Jackery Bar external battery, really, really nice. Kind of heavy, but it'll keep everything charged for a very long time. Apple cord, Apple wall charger, little mini or micro USB cord for charging the headlamp, and it works for charging the Jackery Bar. So dual usage, and then this, which is the iPhone 4S. I'll probably still be using the same one in an OtterBox. I believe it's a Defender case. Great. Moving on. Jacket, least favorite piece of gear, but I'm poor, so I'm just gonna kind of suck it up and use this again. The Go Light Selkirk jacket. It's okay, not great, not super warm, but it is very, very light. Down jacket, 850 fill down jacket, can be used as a pillow. Packs down really small. It's okay. I would say go with a better jacket than that. If you come across this, if it's dirt cheap, grab it. If it's not, go with, shell out the cash, get something better, because that one's not great. All right, sun stuff, same thing as last time. Hat, bandana underneath the hat to protect your ears and neck, and the side of your head, which is great. I found that to be better than the brimmed hats, the 360 brimmed hats. I had one of those in the beginning, and I changed it out for this because at the end of the day and in the morning, the sun's kind of coming in sideways at you when it's rising or setting. It's coming in sideways, and the bandana blocks it from your eye, so you're not getting hit in the eye with the sun in a way that your hat doesn't protect you from. So that's really nice. So that's one of the reasons I like this very much. Sunglasses, Native sunglasses. I'm not sure the brand, but they're fantastic. I don't think they really ended up scratched or anything on the trail, and I wasn't particularly careful with them. So good sunglasses. Little microfiber sunglasses bag for cleaning them. I generally didn't store them in there. I didn't care all that much, but I did use that for cleaning, and it was okay. All right, clothing bag. Same things last time. The Thermarest fleece-lined stuff sack. Very soft, good bag. Moving on. The my town clothes. I've got some Reebok running shorts and a cotton t-shirt. You definitely want town clothes or just something. I saw a lot of people wearing what we ended up calling the hiker tuxedo, which was all of your rain gear, rain pants and rain jacket while all of your stuff was in the wash. I didn't have rain pants. All I had was the rain kilt, which wasn't great because it had a big seam down the side so you could see stuff. So I found that to be worth the wait, and it was really nice to be able to throw on and walk around town and not be in your really dirty hiking clothes, because even after their hiking clothes are washed, they look disgusting. So town clothes, I find them to be a must. Not everybody does. You could save some weight by getting rid of them, but I'm going to bring these again. All right, same CG... boxer briefs, stretchy, dries fast, comfortable, very nice. And the pants are the same. It's the Columbia Silver Ridge zip-off pants, good pants. Columbia Silver Ridge shirt, good shirt. I've got a fresh one coming in the mail. This is my 2014 one, so it looks like hell. It's all. It has been washed, but it just will permanently look like that. Excuse me. We've got the Thermasilk Crew pants and shirt, and that's my sleeping clothes. They're great. They weigh very little. They're nice. Moving on, we've got my 2 pairs of Darn Tough socks. I might wear the thin running socks, the Belega running socks in the desert, but these will definitely go with me for most of the trail. They're just the most durable ones. I still blow through them, but they're pretty durable. Got the Dirty Girl Gaiters, must have, great. Got my liner gloves, thin liner gloves, and my cheapo mitten, fold-over mitten type gloves. They're really nice. I would recommend them. Zensa shin sleeves. I get the shin splints, so these are kind of a must for me until they're proven to be useless. I'm just going to keep wearing them. Got the Mountain Hardwear Microdome. Good hat, soft, light, good. Moving over here, I've got my shoes, which are the Ultra Lone Peak 2.0s. I've worn them a couple of times on a few hikes, on a few day hikes, and a couple of overnighters. They are very comfortable. They are way more cushioned than the Ultra 1.5s. I would highly recommend trying them on, walking around before you buy them. Even if you've been wearing the other Ultra Lone Peaks in the past, they're just a completely different shoe. Understand, there's so much more padding. So if you like the minimal foot feel, the minimal cushioning, these are not the shoe for you. They work okay. I like the minimal cushioning type shoes, but these will work. I got them, tried them on, walked them around. I'm putting some trust in him. I'm hoping it works out. If it doesn't, I know a couple other types of shoes that might work, so I'll try them. But I did the whole PCT in Lone Peak, so I'm hoping these serve me as well. All right, moving on. Got my trekking poles, the Black Diamond Ergo Cork trekking poles. Great poles. The wrist straps are starting to fray. I'm sure they'll break at some point on the trail, but I'm just going to keep using them until they do. This is the Camp Corsa Ice Axe. I had actually had this one ready for the last trip. I never had it sent to me because the snow level was so low. I most likely will be in the same situation this time with the drought in California continuing. I probably won't need it, but it'll be at home waiting for me in case I do. Bear Vault BV500 bear can. It's a good bear can. It's solid. I'm hoping I can figure out a way to use it as little as possible. I think I've got a system worked out where I can kind of jump between a few bear boxes, so I'll only have to use that during very limited portions of the trail. And honestly, the earth sack, which is what I use for the entire trail, and some people like thinner food sacks. I love carrying the earth sack, even though it's 7 ounces. That's a lot for a food bag. It's 7 ounces, but nothing can get into it. So I just put my food in it, cinch it up tight, and if I'm in bear country, I tie it to the tree. If I'm not, I just toss it outside my tent. And the rats and mice and squirrels and whatever else, other rodents, which are going to actually be your biggest problem in terms of food protection, rodents can't chew through this. They say that, yes, after a lot of work, they can maybe get a little hole in it, but I left it out, and it was always like covered in mouse poop the next morning. And I woke up frequently seeing mice running around on top of it. They were never able to get into it, but almost everybody else I knew who had a thinner food sack had their food sack chewed through at one point or another. There were even a few people who had their tents chewed through because they had their food sack inside, and the rats and mice got into their tent to get to their food bag. So I'm gonna keep carrying the earth sack, leaving my food outside, and everything should be okay. Okay. Now inside the food sack, like I said, this is the earth sack. The all white. This is the bear one. There's one for rodents, but I like this because this is approved for certain areas of the trail, so I don't have to use the bear can as much. I still will have to use it most likely through Yosemite unless it gets its approval. But the Ursack is good for a pretty large chunk of the trail. Inside I've got my 2 little bottles. I switched to screw tops so they don't get as dirty. Hot sauce, and this will be olive oil, and I just keep those in a little Ziploc bag just to be safe, make sure they don't drip anywhere. Spoon. Now, I'm going no cook this time around because I really didn't like cooking, and if I could get away with it, if I had extra lunches, I would eat those absolutely instead of cooking. So I was carrying the pot and the stove and the fuel and all that. I really didn't need it. I didn't want it and I didn't need it, and it was just kind of dead weight most of the time. I don't like hot drinks, so I don't make coffee in the morning or hot chocolate at night or any of that. Don't do that. I was just using it to boil enough water to heat up my meal at night, and it's just kind of a waste of weight. So I'm switching to no cook. I'll be doing a lot of stuff that doesn't even require hydration, so a lot of bars and trail mixes during the day, and then at night I'll eat what I ate for lunch last time, which was kind of tortillas, meat, cheese wrapped up. You can eat that really fast, and it's pretty light and it'll last forever. But I'll be carrying this, which is a Skippy peanut butter jar. I'm not done eating the peanut butter out of it, that's why it's still in there. But once I'm done eating the peanut butter, I'm going to clean it out, and this will be my rehydration jar in case I have instant mashed potatoes or ramen or stuffing or anything like that can rehydrate with cold water. I'll put it in there, put the cold water in, and let it sit in my backpack while I'm hiking to camp, and it should be ready to eat. It may be cold, but that doesn't really matter. If you're hungry, you'll eat anything. It should be ready to eat by the time I hit camp, and that'll save me weight. So that's what I'll be using instead of a stove and pot and fuel and all that, is just this and cold water. Okay, we've got water right here, very similar to my 2014 system. I've got a 1.5 liter smart water bottle. That'll be my dirty water bottle. It makes it really easy to collect water and run away from the water source when there's lots of bugs. You don't want to be near water. So that's great. It lasts forever. It screws direct. This can screw directly onto the top, and it fits wonderfully. So that's good. Smaller smart water bottle with the smart water sport top. That's good for cleaning the Sawyer squeeze, which is my filter system. And this is just, it's not. You have to have some water bottles that are only for for clean water, because you don't want to have to filter every time you want a drink. You want to have some sort of storage for clean water. I ran into a few people who just had water bottles that they would screw this onto and then drink from this, which works, and yeah, you could save some weight, but they complained about how frustrating it was that every single time they wanted a drink of water, they had to squeeze and kind of use a little bit of effort just to get some water, whereas one of these things, I just drink after I'm done filtering it. Just get all the effort out of the way, and then you just drink. Collector cup, make one. This was the Aquafina bottle that I cut in half, and I picked this because it fits very nicely over the Smart Water bottle, and then that fits into the side pocket of the backpack, the water bottle pocket of the backpack, so it doesn't take up any extra room. It's solid. It's not going to crush, really. It's flexible enough so you can, do that and pour it, but it's very solid. So I would recommend using an Aquafina bottle for that. Now, instead of a Camelback, I'm switching to these because I've got the water bottle holsters. Those little yellow strings are water bottle holsters on the shoulder straps. So I'll be using a couple of these. One will be on the shoulder strap, one will be in the back side pocket, and I can switch them out. And I've tried it so far, and it's a good system. It works. It worked on the short trip that I did. It may get on my nerves eventually, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to start off with. And Sawyer Squeeze. Now, even though I'm not using the Camelback with the connector anymore, I'll still probably be taking this because it makes it so much easier to fill narrow-mouthed bottles. So this just fits in there, and it just makes it a lot easier. I saw other people doing it with just the little pop top, and they had to kind of aim while they were doing it, whereas this, I just put that inside the mouth of the thing and squeeze, and it worked great. And it doesn't weigh, it weighs probably less than an ounce, so I'm not too concerned about it. All right, emergency kit. Same as last time. Small first aid kit filled with various things that I know I probably will be using at some point, a couple of emergency backup things, and paracord, striker, lighter, and backup batteries. I've got my map and notebook, map pages, data book pages. I use Yogi's guidebook, and the half-mile maps, and I have Gut Hook's PCT app, and that's what I end up using for my navigation. Yogi's book is great for towns. Half-mile maps is great as just a physical backup, and then I use the Gut Hook app more often than anything else just because it's so easy to pull out. Okay, toiletries. I've got toothpaste, small toothbrush, chapstick, floss, Dr. Bronner soap, small pack towel, and wet ones instead of toilet paper, hand sanitizer, and I use a orange, just cheapo camp trowel. You can get them at a lot of grocery stores and sports outlets. They weigh about an ounce, maybe two. Super cheap, super light, very strong. I don't have one right now because I threw mine away when I got to Canada because I didn't want to have to carry around my poo trowel. So I have to buy a new one. And coming back around here, I've got my Marmot Helium 15, and that's the same sleeping bag I used last time. It's great. It's nice and warm. Didn't tear. It was good. It was a good bag. I slept most nights with it open just as kind of a quilt, but when it did get cold, it was nice to be able to zip it up and cinch the hood down, which is an advantage over quilts, is being able to really seal off the drafts. You can kind of shake, and it's continuous baffle, so you can shake all the down to the top too, so you're not squishing any of it. You would get to use all of it. And a Thermarest Z-Lite accordion folding sleeping pad. It goes from my shoulders down to my mid-thigh, and it's great. And it's not very comfortable, but after a while, you don't really care so much about soft comfort. You care more about warmth, and it is surprisingly warm for its weight. And that is fantastic for throwing out in the middle of the day to sit on while you're eating lunch, or any other purpose. That's why I always keep it on the outside of my pack, so I can throw it out if the ground's a little bit wet or something. I just throw that out and use that. Oh, and this fell off, but you need a garbage bag. I just use a big Ziploc bag for that, big gallon Ziploc bag. That'll last you about a week, and then you replace it. You can use one of the tortilla bags or anything like that, but big gallon Ziploc bag, freezer bag works really well. Okay, I think that's about everything. Just remember a few of the things that I won't be carrying at the same time, but will be switching out. And yeah, okay, I think that's all of it. If you have any questions, If I forgot to point anything out, just let me know. If you have any questions about the gear that I showed, let me know. If you have any questions about uses or how I feel about anything in particular, pros and cons, you can put it down in the comments and I'll be happy to answer those. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.